Hello, everybody. Today we're going to work on our baseline again. I'm going to share the screen and we'll get talking here. All right. We're back to establishing our baseline. We talked about Google Sheets. We showed you how to do a little bit of that. And getting your business stuff, your assets and everything organized a bit. Now we're going to work with your credit score. So we've evaluated your company. Now we got to evaluate yourself and your spending habits. And then we're going to go on to skills and services, probably in a separate video, just to keep everything nice and short. Then after that, we'll be doing our business acumen. We'll go over that in a separate video as well. So we're going to jump into this. Share a different screen. I want to go with I think it is this one. Let me double check. Let's look at that. So that one? Yes, it's this one. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit so you can see what's going on. All right. So when you sign into your Chrome or Google account, you'll be coming over here. Here's your, let's see, make that a little bigger so you can see that. You'll come over here to these 9 dots, open that up, go to Drive. Now you're in your Drive account. I'm using business for you guys. This is the incubator courses, business. All right. And now we're going to go in here and we're going to set up a new spreadsheet. So we're going here, right? So you saw how I did that new Google Sheets. You can click on it here or you can go over here. But we're going to use just click on that. It creates a blank spreadsheet. And we're going to name it again. This one is going to be personal. All right. Okay. So once again, we want to find out what's your baseline credit score. Say it's 635. I don't know what it is. Okay. To be good, we need a target of 7, let's call it 715. Okay. That's what we need. That's where we want to be in a year. Right. All right. So let's start putting stuff in. Okay. This is baseline. Base and 1 year goal. Notes. Okay. So we're just going to use this as a template to put our notes in. And then we're going to organize our notes. Okay, so where are you banking? So Bank of Indonesia. I'm not gonna be silly. Let's go Bank of America. Actually, that's probably not okay. Bank of AM. All right. This is for your private bank, your personal stuff. And what we're trying to find out is what your spending habits are. So take a look, pull down your last year's worth of receipts, okay, of your transactions, and then we're going to go through it. So essentially, I'm going to write down some nonsense. All right. So here, I'm going to write groceries. So you're going to tabulate how much you spent, and there's ways to do it easily with your bank statements. Grocery store, and you can guess this. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. Um, and we're going to say day, week, month, and year. That's enough. And from here, we're going to go C5 colon C. And we're going to add data. You're going to make your own. So this is just something that I'm doing. So day, week, months, and year. All right. Advanced options. I like to use the arrow down. Put that over here. These are by itself. And then yeah, I'm going to highlight these. So, oops. I'll put them down like that. Here, I'm going to put a different one. It's a dark one with light. The and frequency. Actually, I should have taken that out of there. This. Make this a date. All right, we're gonna do the same thing here. Colon B. Hit enter. Data. Just like I taught you before. You're going to change this from drop down to is valid date and done. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. I think what we'll do here is let's add bank account. Account. Paint it over to get the same thing. All right. Paint that over. Now we're gonna do the same thing. D column D. Hit enter. And then we're going to add a row. Or say Bank of M. And you might have a let's see, you have a credit card account. Credit card one. And advanced again. I like to do this. You can do your own thing. Done. All right, you can play around with this. This is your thing. Okay, so typically we do this weekly. Um, Not necessary for that. And we pull it out of one in amount. So insert cells and shift right. All right. So this budget. This is all baseline. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing here. And we're going to make that dollar amount. So weekly we spend what? $400. Is that accurate? Maybe. Oops. I gotta change this. We're gonna edit this right here. Let's see. So when I added that, when I moved the cells over, it left the data validation there. So now the data validation's here. Okay, we're good. All right. And I want you to put down everything you got. World of Warcraft. I'm gonna say that's a subscription. It's an old one, but it repeats every. So you're paying 120 bucks a month, which is ridiculous, but that's what you're paying. Or you have it coming out of your credit card, something like that. All right, and you go on down the line. Drinks with Sally and Jimmy. Okay, cost you about 60 bucks to go out and have a weekly thing, and you take that out of your account. And you continue on down the line. All right. Let's see, you get a regular payment from something. Uh, I don't think this is the case for you, but I'm just going to say I want to make all these negative. How am I going to do that? Not without writing code. All right, go in here. You're getting, it's not called annuity, let's call it compensation for something, but it's regular. So you get 400 a month and it goes into your bank account. All right. And you just keep doing this. You can put this if you want. Uh, you don't necessarily have to put this date in here. You can. I'm leaving it there because in the future we'll be doing it. But for now, you don't have to fill it in. All right, so we're going down the line here. We're just adding more stuff. Phone. Let's see what else. Car payment. Um, Coffee. And Sally's. Okay. Um, some other subscriptions. Okay. So it says 35. Okay. So you get the idea. You're going to go down through all this stuff, right? And we're going to say there's 52 weeks in a year. So I could write a code to do this. I'm not. We're going to just make it simple. There's 52 weeks in a year. It's that. Yeah. It's 12 months in a year. You see the idea? Oops. 52. Again. One. Oops. I hit that wrong. It should be B. This one should be. So interesting enough. Let's do the math here real quick. So we've got 365 days. Let's see, there's 52 weeks times 5. It's 260 days that are weekdays, something like that. Okay, just an average 260. All right, if that's done daily. All right, so that gives you an idea. And these should be minuses, dang it. There you go. Yeah, we're going to say F5. Make sure you get your minus signs in there. All right, so you're spending 28,800 a year. All right. Some of these you want to go through and you might want to rework them. This is where you're going to analyze. Do I need to have coffee every day? Actually, 28,800 a year is not too bad. What's your rent? Oh, I forgot. Rent or mortgage? It's minus 2,200. That's monthly. What's that in there? And go. All right. And then your electric, we'll call it utilities. And what you pay, I think out here we're paying about 120 a month. All right. And you go on and on down the line and you figure it out. This is what you're spending. During this time, you're going to find oddball things like, what the hell is this subscription? Why am I spending that? I don't even use it. So, action. And you can write all these things down yourself. Action. And a note. All right. Um, um, I think we're going to switch those to red. And here again, I'm going to extend it. I'm going to add a data validation. Or actually, I think we'll just do a check mark. Insert check mark. Let's just do data validation. Add a rule. Should be a checkbox. There you go. All right. So now you get checkboxes. And then add a note. Come down here, check this. Let's see. Cancel subscription. Or something like that. Okay. And this is how you do a quick setup to get everything done. So we're going to use this number. We're going to play from it from now on. All right. With the exception of this, which we can get rid of at some point, right now it's not canceled. So this is our total annual costs. That's our, 1 second here. One second. Sorry about that. I had to take care of something. All right, let's go down here. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this to um, just call it baseline. Okay. We're going to add another sheet and we're going to do credit card 1. All right. Obviously, we want the date, description, and And over here, let's do limit. All right. Let's see, due date. Keep it simple. Let's move this over to limit. All right. Same type of thing. Get this set up A to A, boom, boom. Data validation, boom. Add a rule, boom. Is a valid date, done. Description, we talked about that. We want to go C2 to C. And we want to make that money. D to D. Another rule. Data validation. All right. And then over here, we're going to say your limit is 5,000. Okay, we're going to make that $1. All right. This is going to change. Okay, so let's say as of this date, balance, you've spent 1,600 on it. Okay, not terrible, but that's what your balance is as of that date. So you have available limit, and you don't have to break it down as available limit or anything like that. More interested in this. Let's say your next due date will be next month on the 12th. All right. And every month thereafter is going to be on the 12th. So we can say this is one way of doing it. This plus 30 if you want. All right. There's other ways of doing it, a lot easier ways of doing it, but I'm just giving you an idea. All right. And then what it'll do, see how it takes you to that. So let's say we go down, see how it's on the 11th now. All you have to do is double click on that and correct it. That's it. Okay. So don't sweat it too much. Okay. So we got that. We want to do the same thing for credit card deal. Let's change this so it looks cool. Same, you know how to do it, right? Do it any way you like. Boom, done. Now come down here, right click on it, duplicate, change the name to 2. Say that's 2 on the first. Okay, so that's what your balance is, and it's a minus. Got it? All right. And yeah, I think that gets you covered. All right, so you got that all set up. This is baseline stuff. Okay, so why are we doing all this? Essentially, what we're trying to do is we're trying to move this credit score to that credit score in a year. We also need to find out what that number is so that in business, when you're doing your evaluation on how much you have to charge, how much you have to make, this is your minimum. Whatever that is, that's your minimum. So that's important to know. So now, with that, we are going to set up pause this one more time while I think about this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make this our minimum. First, I think I want to change, duplicate this one here. We're going to call this 1 year expense adjustment. Okay. You can call whatever the hell you want. I'm just doing it for right now. I also want to reduce my, in the course of the year, I want to reduce the grocery store bill. So I'm going to go reduce. And I don't know whether you're just buying steaks, but now we're going to go to 200. And we got rid of this one. That's our actual goal, is to get our expenses down to 45. Okay. But right now we're at baseline. So let's use this as the higher number. This is the goal, to make ourselves a little better and look better. Make sure that we're paying our credit card bills. All right. So we're going to run these a little different, but they're being paid for. Let's do credit card payment. And it comes out of there. And we're going to do a minimum payment of $220 a month until it's paid off. So that's $2,000 a year. It's credit card one. So let's just keep that on our books. Credit card two. We're going to pay 100. And you're going to play with these numbers until you get them right. Right. You will be using your credit cards pretty regular. Okay. It's just what I like to do is keep one for personal and one for business. Okay. And it's important to use your credit cards. You want that credit to keep going. So try to keep your balance under 50%, if you will. Pay it off at the end of the month if you can. There will be times where you can't. You just have to suck it up a little bit in year one. So, but the goal is not to get overwhelmed and keep your credit cards at max. That's not good. All right. So I'm going to take these two lines, copy them, and put them in here. Paste. So now we're at 60,480. Now this is going to change a little bit. Like I said, you're just trying to get a baseline. So that's your minimum, essentially your minimum expenses for the year. equal, go over to here. Let's do baseline for now. Okay. So so that's your minimum monthly expense. It's pretty steep, huh? But that's reality. You got a family, that's pretty realistic. There are ways to cheapen to get it better. Like we said, we're going to be making adjustments, do stuff. So if we did this one, it'd be cheaper yet. But that's what we want to target. That's our minimum monthly expenses for survival. All right. So we need to make more than that. How much do we need to make? Well, wages. We want to make at least this and have a little bit of a cushion just in case something comes up, gas, whatever it is. All right. So we want to be, let's say, 20% higher. Let's just make it 20% higher. Well, this times or plus 20%. No, I'm going to have to do this differently. Let's do this differently. Oops. Oops. The ABS is absolute value. It takes out the dollar sign or the negative sign. Okay. So that's the wages that we're targeting. This gives us 20% over that. So just a little bit of cushion. So what is this? There's 160 hours typically in a basic average month. So uh, equals this divided by 160 hours. You have to be bringing home that amount. Okay. Take home. If you hit control, enter. So to get this is going to be interesting. I'm going to go over it. And we're going to do this as if we were hiring an employee. Let's say the employee's wage is equal to 35. Okay. You as the employer have a burden of taxes. So, and let's say there's a benefits package. In some areas, there's a benefits package. Let's say it's 20 or $15 an hour. This is all hourly. Okay. There are taxes on the wages, employer taxes, which are your social security, your unemployment taxes, all bundled up, and it works. And here in Washington, there's labor and industry costs for your insurance. So it all bundles up to about 18 to 21%, depending on where you're at. So I want to say employer taxes. And it's based on that number, on the wages. Was this times 21%. Okay. And if you're offering anything else, great. But this essentially is how much it's going to cost you. So total burden cost. Let's do it hourly. Okay. Equals sum of these three. That's what you'd have to charge for in order for them to get that wage. Now, for you, if you got to have that as a take-home pay, you need to consider taxes that you have to take out of your own pay. All right. So let's say you're at a 25% tax rate. All right. So let's add 25%. So your annual taxes equal. And let's go down here. We won't cover that. So we want to increase this by 25%. And I think this will work. It'll be close enough. So that's your target. Because yeah, about that. That's about right. So $8 to $10 an hour is what you could be paying the government. So that's close enough. So use 47.25 as your wage. Okay. And you're going to want to be able to pay for insurances and stuff like that. So let's, once again, stick with this. I'm just doing this basic. And if you're going to be an employee to your company, so if you had a corporation set up or an S Corp and you were an employee to that S Corp, then you put employment tax on it so that you can technically be covered by labor and industry or others. If that's not the case, if you're a single owner LLC, then you don't necessarily have to put employment tax on. It'll be treated more as more as just an income. And so you'd be going straight with 47.25. If you don't have benefits, obviously take this off. But I'm going to presume that you were an employee to your company. All right. And yes, CEOs can be employees to their company. So let's go ahead and just presume that this is the case. We're going to bring this down to the same thing. Bring this down to do the same thing. All right. So when you're selling your time to a project, it has to be a minimum of $72.17 an hour. That's your minimum. Okay, in order to achieve this. All right. So how does this help? When you're setting up your estimating, you want to know how much it costs for you, your employees, and copy, paste, and an apprentice. Okay. Let's say they're $20. All right. So it takes the three of you to do stuff. Let's just say, uh, all right, if it's just a two-man job, employee one and apprentice. So E plus A. Let's go here. Equals this. So that's how much an hour you have to charge the project for a crew. Okay. And if you're on site, then you add all three of these up. And that's essentially how you get your minimums. We're going to talk more about how to use this in estimating and how to figure out uh, profits, expenses, the whole works. All right. Your personal expenses have nothing to do with your business. Those are your personal expenses. They come out of your wages. So that number does not have anything to do with your company. All it's doing is establishing your wage, your minimum wage, in order to make in order for you to survive and have your family not starve. You and your family not starve. Okay. And we will talk more about this, adjusting. We'll play with layouts, whatever you want to do. And we'll just go over that. I think that's enough for this one. And then the next one that we're going to talk about is now that we know how much we have to earn and we have an idea of what we can do to get uh, to build crews and how much it's going to cost us to build crews, then we can get into our next step and figure out what our skills and services are going to be. All right. That is the end of this one. See you in the next.